There are only 3 devastating mistakes you could be making that are stopping you from getting a college football scholarship. All mistakes I learned from when earning a full D1 football scholarship in the SEC at just 5'7" and 150 pounds. And in this video, I'm gonna share with you not only what they are, but exactly what you can do instead to ensure you secure the best football scholarships possible. Mistake number 1, not doing any outreach at all. Most players aren't doing any outreach or any posting at all. They're not emailing, they're not DMing, they're not calling, they're not doing any sort of outreach to college coaches, or they're not posting consistently on social media, getting coaches to follow them so they see those posts. So there's really no outreach at all going to college coaches. And unfortunately, a lot of people that do make this mistake believe that if they just play really well and if they're good, coaches will find them. And that's just not the reality. There's 1.1 million high school football players, and each coach at every school is responsible for recruiting roughly 75,000 players, and there are a lot of good high school football players. So if this is a mistake you're making, here are 3 things you can do instead. Number 1 is commit to following every coach at every school you have the best chance of earning a college football scholarship at, and posting consistently your highlights, the food you're eating, the workouts you're doing, things that progress over time, and then tagging those coaches in every single post on a rotation. Number 2, start reaching out to those coaches via email, DM, and phone calls to find out who is the specific coach at that school responsible for recruiting your specific area. Then getting that coach to watch your highlight video. And step 3 is to build relationships with those coaches. In a world where the transfer portal and the NIL is completely taking over the sport, there's one thing that still matters more than all. And that's the relationships that you can build with college coaches so that they trust you enough to offer you a football scholarship. Mistake number 2, not doing enough outreach. So different than mistake 1, mistake number 2 is players are actually doing outreach and they're posting, but they're just not doing enough. They'll send something like 15, 20, or even 30 DMs or emails and then say that outreach doesn't work. However, it's not their fault because they really don't understand sales and marketing. And in sales, it takes a lot of effort, it takes a lot of outreach just to get one person interested. And it's the same thing as a high school football player that's doing outreach to college coaches. The amount of effort and volume it actually takes and the consistency it takes in order to get college coaches to finally start noticing you and respond back to you and get interested is a lot, especially the follow-up where most athletes in this mistake miss. So here's what you can do instead. Step number 1 is set a goal for yourself to send 100 to 200 emails or DMs every single week. And you can do this by step number 2, which is time blocking. And that's setting aside 45 minutes to 90 minutes every single day where you turn off all the notifications on your phone and the only thing you're doing is sending DMs or sending emails or making phone calls to college coaches. I know you're busy. I know as a player you have a lot going on. You got football, you got other sports, you got school, you got girls, you got all of these things going on. But if you want to run out of that tunnel on Saturdays, then it'll be important enough for you to set aside that time to do nothing but reach out and build relationships with college coaches. And step 3, implement tools that'll make you more efficient. We have our athletes we work with use a CRM, a coach relationship management tool, to keep track of all the schools, where they are in the recruiting process, as well as following up with the coaches, keeping track of all their social media posts, and streamlining the entire process. Once you get really good at it, then you can start adding some more automation and tools to make you more efficient. And yes, you can even use AI, which is something that we are just about to roll out with all of the clients that we currently work with now. At the end of the day, step 1 is going to be so important because that's all within your control. Setting goals that are activity-based that you can control, at the end of the day, you could say, I won. I said I was going to send 100 emails over the week. I sent 15 a day. And at the end of the week, I could say, I hit my goal. It's not just about the responses, and it's not just about coaches responding. It's about the fact that you committed and you did it. And over time, if you stay consistent with it, you'll get better and better and better and develop the skills and form the habits to become a great salesperson, which is what it takes to earn a scholarship in this new portal era if you're not in the top ESPN 300. And mistake number 3, you're just not good at outreach. Even if you're doing outreach and you're doing enough outreach, if you're not good at the outreach and you don't have a system and you're not sure what are the right things to say, when to say it, how to say it, and you're struggling to connect and build relationships with college coaches, it doesn't matter how much you do. So having the right systems and processes and developing the marketing and sales skills it actually take is what's gonna get you the most scholarships possible once you're doing outreach and you're doing enough of it. This is why we focus on developing elite, confident businessmen versus just doing outreach and sending automated emails for the players that we work with. This is why we teach them how to do everything themselves and hold them accountable to it. So here's what you could do to get good at marketing and outreach. Step 1, learn how to customize and tell your compelling story. Customizing your story based on each individual school and your strengths, your highlights, and your accomplishments. This is what makes you unique and different than every other player. Understanding this and being able to tell your story and pitch this to college coaches is gonna be really important. And the question you've gotta be able to answer is why you? Why should a college coach give you a scholarship over the next guy? And your story is gonna evolve over time, as well as moving coaches through the process, from finding the area coach to getting them to watch your video, to getting them on a phone call, to going on a visit, and ultimately getting an offer. Step number 2 is building confidence in your messaging, your communication, and your ability to build relationships with college coaches, real, genuine relationships. And the confidence comes from you believing and knowing you're reaching out to the right schools and that you can actually help their program move forward and succeed. And step 3, getting good at using the tools online to make you more efficient, to track the numbers, the emails, the responses, the video views, all of that, so that you can properly make adjustments and get better as a marketer and as a salesperson. This way you make sure you never miss a follow-up or an opportunity to build a relationship with a college coach, to maintain interest and move forward through securing official visits and offers. And so one thing you can do to get really good at this is to role play. This is something we do with our athletes and we do it often. It's so important to not only know your story and be able to craft your pitch and your story, but also be able to write it and then be able to share it and tell it. And the way you can do that is by practicing, by role playing over and over and over again. And then when you do speak with a coach, you get another rep and another rep, and you keep getting better and you keep getting better. It's the same thing like you do in the football field. You practice every week. You keep running the same routes. You keep practicing catching the ball. But in sales and in marketing, you just kind of wing it. Well, I hate to tell you this, but the sales and marketing is 70, 80% of earning a scholarship. You gotta be able to play, don't get me wrong. However, if you're not doing the marketing, if you're not doing the sales, and you're not getting really good at it and practicing it and role playing it, then the odds of you securing the best and most scholarships possible really diminish. The final bonus mistake that I'll share with you is not targeting the right schools. At the end of the day, if you're not targeting the right schools, or you're not tagging and following and reaching out and doing outreach to the right schools, then none of this matters. And it doesn't matter because the coaches will look at your video and they'll know that you're not at the current level that they're recruiting at. So it's so important to make sure you're targeting the right divisions and the right schools, so that when you start doing outreach and you start doing enough outreach and you start getting really good at outreach, that the school will actually be able to offer you a scholarship and that you meet the level of player that that division or that school will actually recruit and offer. Now, as always, to make it easier for you, I created a checklist as well as step-by-step exactly what you need to do to overcome these 3 mistakes. and I'll leave a link below where you can download it completely free. However, if you don't have a lot of time and you just want to know what are the schools and divisions your son should be targeting, and you want someone who has 15 years of college football recruiting experience to do it for you, I'll leave a link as well in the description below. Now, if you got value from this video and you want to watch more videos just like it, make sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification. And if you'd like to watch an exclusive video from my recent live event where parents actually shared what they did to help their son earn college football scholarships, then you're gonna wanna watch this video right here.